But it was a crazy experience. Like,
Yeah.
it's wild to really think about it. It's like, wow, we really like stayed in the house for
I
almost
remember
a year.
seeing people fist fighting over mask. Over mask. Like, put your mask on. I don't wear a mask. Like, literally, like, getting in fist fights over this stuff. I was like, oh my God, is that serious?
And
Better put my
like people
mask
had
on.
no idea. So my dad's in the medical field. So I actually had a special like cloth ND. It's like an ND90 mask. It's the actual only mask that actually will filter out germs and everything.
The only one that works.
And they wouldn't let me on the airplane with it. They're like, you need to have this little cheap mask that doesn't work.
Take off the one that works.
Yeah, take the one that like completely closes your face in.
Put this shit on.
Put this one on. And I was like, bro, this is like, there's an actual filter in here. Like,
that's stupid.
And like, and I spent a lot of money because it made me look like Sub-Zero. But, but yeah, they would not let me on the plane with it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you seen that Key and Peele skit where, is it Key and Peele? I don't know. I want to say it's Key and Peele. They're talking about, how much damage you could do with 9 ounces of fluid, you know?
Yeah,
you know
but, it's like, but the 8.5 ounces.
8.5.
Can't do anything. It's just
Can't do anything with 8.5.
Yeah. It's crazy.
That's so stupid. So when you moved back to Colorado, were you, how old were you? I know you moved to Texas and then back to Colorado.
I was young, probably about like 6 or 7.
So have you been here since then?
For the most part, yeah. For the most
So
part,
you're pretty much a native by now.
Pretty much,
Jesus.
yeah. Pretty much. Like I left for Texas for I think like 2 or 3 years and then came back.
Did you grow up? Is it around here in Denver or Aurora?
Colorado Springs.
Oh,
but then I came to Denver when I went to college and stayed here.
Isn't it crazy how in the Springs I owned a business over there, and when I went to hire, I set my wages for the same as I set here in Denver. And like in one day I had 100 applicants. Well, I start looking, their wages in the Springs are so much lower than the wages here in Denver. Have you ever noticed?
I didn't know that.
Oh man, it's crazy. So here in Denver, if I put a job out, if you own a business and you go to hire employees, you better have $20 an hour on there.
Yeah.
And if you put it out, let's just say 1 week, you get 50 applicants, right? Mm-hmm. The Springs, you put $20 an hour, 1 week, you're gonna have 1,000. You're gonna have 1,000 applicants. That's crazy.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. Cost of living is a little bit lower, but I don't know. I feel like with how inflation and everything's been getting, like, it's just kind of really hard to live anywhere in Colorado these days.
Yeah, I feel like they pay the same. I just think that their jobs just don't pay as much. Like,
so I got a question. So as a business owner, a successful one at that, how do you feel about just where things are going economically, worker to employer to employee relationships? How do you feel about all that?
Well, I could see there's two sides, right? So if I would say the boss side, I sometimes I think, how could I say this without offending people?
Just say it, man. Just say it like what it is.
Well, I want people to understand it, and if they get offended, they're not listening. So
okay,
you know what I mean? So sometimes when you invest substantial amount of monies, I feel like maybe the worker feels entitled to too much of the return.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then again, I feel like some owners are just too damn greedy and they don't pay enough. You know what I mean? So I think what happens was, what I would always see is the people like me who would want to help and want to do the right things would get bad raps from the people who were greedy. You know what I mean? And then sometimes you get people come after you because they have the mindset.
Because they have the perception that you're
just some greedy rich guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's probably how I feel about it.
Okay, I get that.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes perfect sense. I'm trying to see how this is sustainable, where, you know, we've got multiple billionaires.
Yeah.
And like, let's take Bezos, where it's like, dude, you've got, like, your wife is the richest woman in the world because she divorced you.
Yeah, just retire already.
And you have literal workers peeing in bottles because they can't take a bathroom shift.
Yeah, well, I could testify to that because I owned an Amazon company. And I could say workers pee in bottles because they don't want to stop and go to the bathroom.
Is that what it is? As I've heard.
That's what it is.
Is it?
That's exactly what
Because I've heard the warehouse conditions are like.
Their warehouses are so nice, bro.
Are they?
They're so nice. They have a panic room where you just go in there and sit down and have a quiet time.